I finally gave up on the Mavericks or Lakers calling me to coach them. I was looking for something. I didn't know what the something was. Certainly didn't think it was going to be electricity, I can tell you that. But a friend of mine called and said, hey, I got something I want you to go take a look at. Well, kind of like a bunch of you probably, I begrudgingly went to that first meeting. Begrudgingly. The only reason I went was because I respected the person that invited me. Now, I hate to even admit this, but I will, Jay. I'm driving to that first meeting ever, and I'm plotting my exit strategy. As I'm driving, I'm going, okay, I'll get there, I'll look interested. When they ask me at the end if I want to do it, I'll tell them I need to think about it, and then when they call me, I'll just tell them it's not for me. That was my strategy going in. And I said in that first meeting, guys, now 7 years ago, it's hard to believe how fast time flies, but that was 7 years ago. Now, understand this, it wasn't Mr. Energy Jay up here with a PowerPoint, computers and all that. It was a big old tablet on a rickety old tripod that wiggled every time they wrote on it, and a guy with a Marks-a-Lot. So can you imagine trying to put all that information on a piece of paper? When I looked at that, you couldn't tell up from down. It looked like a bunch of hen scratch. I mean, I didn't know what it was. But as I left that meeting that night, I had one thought. I thought, that might work. And you go, well, wait a minute. If you didn't understand anything, how did you think it might work? Well, I didn't understand it, couldn't have explained it, but I grasped a couple of things. We only needed a handful of customers, so I'm thinking, geez, I can go get me a handful of customers. I mean, I don't have to go get hundreds. See, I was worried that I'd have to get hundreds. I wouldn't have done this. But they said, you only need 10. I'm going, I can get me 10 customers. The other thing, we wanted some customer getters, and I'm thinking, my gosh, everybody I know is needing to make some money. I surely can get a few of them to do this with me. So when I walked out that door, I'm thinking, this might work. This might work. When they called me the next day, I blew my game plan all to pieces because I didn't say no. I said yes. I said I'm in. Guys, I had one goal when I got in this business. I wanted to make $1,000 a month, 1,000, because I thought if I can make $1,000 a month, I can start paying my credit card bills down. So I put my head down. I went to work. It took 6 months, but we got a check that had a comma.
All right.
I have never been so excited to see a comma in my entire life. For a guy that has coached his whole life to have $1,000 a month coming in residually, it was, I mean, I was pumped. But it's kind of like Zig Ziglar tells us. Zig says, go as far as you can see, and when you get there, you're going to be able to see a little bit farther. I could see farther. I could see 3,000. So I put my head down. I got back to work, guys, and Jeannie and I got that to 3,000, and then 5,000, and then 20,000, and then 50,000, and then 100,000. And I'm telling you what, today, the reason people all the time say, why do you still work if you've really made $15 million? I work because I'm a motivated son of a gun. See?
Yeah.
What my goal is now is I want to see 2 commas in a check, guys. I want to see 2. And you see, it's hard to fathom that, but we as common folks, we got a chance to do some of that stuff. And I hope to share some of my knowledge with you on what it takes to do that. And if you'll just kind of open your mind up and listen a little bit, I think we'll get there. I think there's 4 reasons why you guests should join us. One is that residual income I was talking about. I didn't have a clue what residual was. Never experienced residual. I used to think residual is what you left in the bathtub after a hard day's work. I didn't know you could actually do something one time and just keep getting paid over and over and over again. But I figured out something real quick. Good time and bad, people are going to pay the light bill. They're going to pay that light bill. Huh?
Yes, sir.
I mean, it's a no options. You know, down economy, we may not go out to eat as much. We may not drive the car as much. We might drop the health club membership. We may quit taking vitamins. We might do a whole lot of stuff to save a buck or two. But we're not going to sit in the dark. We're going to pay that electric bill, guys. We pay all that money, 25 cents to $4.50 per customer per month, comes like clockwork. Comes like clockwork, ladies and gentlemen. Which means you do something one time and you continue to get paid on it. Now, understand this. I'm not saying you don't have to work. You do. You're going to have to work your butt off for a couple of years. But I tell you what, let's think this through. How fast does a year go by now anyway?
Real true.
Like a heartbeat. Why wouldn't we get out there and put some effort out for a couple of years so we could have our life to do what we wanted to with after that, guys? And that's what I'm going to challenge you guys to do, is experience residual income. And for you guests, let me just give you a taste. Yesterday was the 15th. And residual came into our accounts. That's my favorite day of the month, the 15th. I mean, I love the 15th. I don't get to go to the mailbox anymore. It's direct deposit, but I still love that day, huh?
Come on.
For you guests, here's what it amounts to. Think of it this way. What if somebody went to your checking account on the 15th and just plopped some money in there? I mean, it's a significant amount of money.
Yeah, no
Just
doubt.
plopped it in there. That'd be pretty sweet, wouldn't it? But you know what's even sweeter? Is when next month, a little bit more is plopped into your account. And the next month, a little bit more is plopped into your account. Do you understand how that would change your life just a little bit if it didn't involve what you did that week or that month, but money just popped in there anyway? See, you guys, a lot of you guys keep up with my family. Actually, Sarah Beth, our daughter, is in Nashville recording right now. She's doing an album. And she'll be singing the national anthem at Ignition again. So if you get there early so you can be in your seat so you can hear. And Jordan, the reason I'm telling you this story is Jordan, I've been here since then, but he got drafted in the second round a year ago by the St. Louis Cardinals. He's going to spring training starting Sunday. Well, Jeannie and I have rented a place there in West Palm Beach, Florida, and starting Saturday for the next 6 weeks, I'm going to be there, guys, because of that money plopping into the account. I can go and watch my boy play for 6 weeks and just watch him at practice and watch him out there with those big league guys. And I tell you what, it's the joy of my life. Our kids are, and I get to experience that. But I put in that time up front so that I can have this time now to do what I wanted to. And that's what I challenge you guys to do. You want some residual income. Number two, we only need a handful of customers. Like I said, if they'd have told me you got to be Captain Kilowatt and go get a bunch of customers, I'd have never done this. I wouldn't. I mean, if they'd have said you need 200 or 300 customers, I'd say you're crazy, and I'd have got out of there. But they said you need 10. I'm going, geez, the website counts as 2. Most of us switch ourselves. That's 3. That means I need 7 of them suckers, huh? I mean, we can pay blackmail or bribe and get us 7 of them. 7. That's it. I mean, let's think that through. We got good rates, guys. We can get us 7 customers. The money's made by building a team of people that go get a handful of customers. Don't look at yourself as an electric salesperson.
Right.
I ain't looked for a customer in about 6.5 years, guys. Yeah, we all got to get our handful, but we're team builders. That's what we are. We're team builders. Huge residual. We only need a few customers. Number 3, we're in at the beginning. And you go, wait a minute. Jay says it's 7 years old. Now you're going, we're in at the beginning. Let's think this through. In Texas, where we've been here for 7 years, we've got between 7 and 8% of the market.
Wow.
Best I can figure, that leaves 92, 93% for us to get. Georgia, we've been there for about 3.5 years. We got a little over 3% of that. I think that leaves like 97% there. And we just rolled out Pennsylvania, Maryland, and New Jersey. And our chairman has said he wants to roll out another state about every 6 months. And he's even talked about provinces in Canada. And he's even said some of them there countries over in Europe have been deregulated, huh? Guys, I can't fathom what's going to happen in the next 5-10 years with this company. We're in at the beginning, which is huge, guys. And I get this all the time. People go, well, I don't know anybody in another state. That's fine. You don't have to. You realize I have not sponsored one person outside of Texas. If you'll build in your own backyard, some of those people will know people in those other states. My group spans every state out there, and I've only signed up people in Texas, but I've built here hard, and that's what you've got to do. You've got to get the team here, and then it'll bounce to those other places. So huge residual. We only need a few customers. We're in at the beginning, and my 4th point on this one is it's energy. It's energy. You go to a successful person and you go, hey, I got a business deal I want to run by you. What's he usually going to ask me? What is it? Startup energy company. There's something about saying startup energy company, guys. People will listen to you. They'll get involved. And you can go to successful people. When you go to the successful people in your life and say, hey, I got something I want to talk to you about, and they say, what is it? And you go startup energy company, their ears will perk up. They'll sit down with you. And what you'll figure out is a lot of them will get involved, guys. But you've got to get out there and open your mouth and start talking. But that's the 4 reasons I think you should join us. Huge residual. We only need a few customers. We're in at the beginning, and it's energy. Now, my last about 10 or 15 minutes here, I'm going to talk about life in general. And what I'm going to ask us to do, you know, I know most of you guys